Good evening, folks. Welcome back to another 4am. So on this video, we're going to be looking at UV Project. Okay, now UV is going to be UV mapping and unwrapping and stuff like that. That's going to be a complete tutorial by itself. So what I've done with this one is I've pulled a little project off Blender's website just to help me out with this. But what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to show you through all those buttons here, and then I'll go onto their project so you can see exactly what it does, and hopefully that gives you a bit more of an insight for it. Okay, so the UV Project and Modifier acts like a slide projector. It emits a UV map from the negative z-axis of a controller object such as an empty and applies it to an object as the light hits it. It can optionally override the object's face texture. Okay, so you have a texture, simple texture on this object. Now it's from the negative z, so negative z is actually would be this way, negative z. Okay, so to project, that would be over this side, I guess. Nope, not that way. That was in the complete wrong place. Let me just get this across here. Okay, so basically it'll project an image from here, and the light is going to hit your object around this side, or whichever way your sun is facing. It will project an image from there of a UV image straight down onto this object, and whatever texture you've already got on there, this will project its own image of the UV image you've assigned to it straight onto that face. So I hope you understand that, because it was quite hard, to be honest. Okay, so modifier, UV project. We have a few options here. Okay, we have, let's just have a little look. Okay, so we have the image, we have UV map, we have override image, projectors, some axes, and select an object. Okay, so UV layer, which UV layer to modify defaults to the active rendering layer. So that's, whoops, that's your object here. That's the UV layer being that object, that's the active object. So image, the image associated with this modifier is not required. Let me have a look at that, 1 second. The image associated with this modifier, not required. You can just project a UV for use elsewhere. Override image below defines how the image is used. Okay, so you can use image, or you can use the UV map. In the project they have just used the UV map, and you'll see how that actually affects the object. Now, I mean, there could be a few instances where you actually use this. It could actually make some really fun projects. I mean, I'll talk more about that when we actually see it. Okay. So next you have override image. When true, so when it's ticked, the face texture of all vertices on the mesh is replaced with this image. This will cause the image to repeat, which is usually undesirable. So this image will repeat how many times around each side, depending on how big your picture is, I assume. Just like the texture. If your texture is 1200 by 1200, your box is 24 by 24, it's going to project around 4 times, hence why you have to get the seamless and then, you know, adjust all your axes and everything like that to actually make that work. When it's false, so when it's unticked, the modifier is limited to faces with the image as their face texture. Okay, next we have projectors. Up to 10 projector objects are supported. Each face will choose the closest and aligned projector with its surface normal. Projections emit from the negative z-axis, i.e. straight down a camera or lamp. Okay, so basically if we go into here, it'd project either from there or straight down from the lamp there. Again, in the project I've got it straight from the lamp, straight down. And I mean, a good way to do that and to see is if you render it, you're going to see where your image is actually going to go. Excuse me, because you can see where your light hits more. Oh, I do apologise. If the projector is a camera, the projection will adhere to its perspective or orthographic setting. So one thing I haven't done is go into my ortho view. Not that I need to or anything, because I am just pretty much just showing you. I'm not really doing anything in this one except for going through these options here. Next we have the object, and that's to specify the projector object. So that would be this box, because you'd want it to project onto this box, the box being our object. Next we have our aspect XY, scale XY. These allow simple manipulation of the image, only apply when a camera is used as a projector object. So if you're using the camera, you're using your image, this is going to adjust, this is going to fix even, if this is going to fix this image. So if it does overlay a lot, I think that's what's going to fix it. Okay, we have a little script of usage. Doesn't really tell us much about the actual UV map there, but you know, I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably already know about UV maps and what they are. So we have UV Project is great for making spotlights more diverse and also for creating decals to break up repetition. The modifier's image property is not generally used. Instead, a texture mapped to the UV layer that the modifier targets is added to the object's material. This allows you to prevent the image from repeating by setting texture image mapping extension to clip. Perspective cameras. So with perspective cameras, so 5 perspective view. When using perspective cameras or spot lamps, you will likely want to enable the UV project material option available in the materials panel. This uses a different UV interpolation to prevent distortion. And just so you know, this modifier, is it this one? No, the perspective camera, this option is not yet available for cycles. So I'm not sure if that includes the whole modifier or just the camera, but we'll find that out. So what I'm just going to do, quit that out and then show you. This is the project what I've pulled from Blender's website. So as you see, I mean, they've got a subsurf modifier on there and the UV project. But that's, you know, that's not what I've done. That can be there or not. It doesn't really matter that. Okay, so they've got their spotlight here. This is their UV project, and from the spotlight, if we get into that view of the spotlight there, that's where their UV map or UV image is going to project right around that whole circle and hit Suzanne, who's our little monkey. All around her face there, she's going to have that UV map straight onto her. So if we have a look at Suzanne, you can see you have projected UV here. Right, okay, and they've actually picked the lamp. Right, okay, so that object, they've picked lamp because it's going to come straight from the lamp there. Okay, so that now makes sense to me. So that means then that if we go back into here, just ignore that one because that's just something I was working on. And then we go on to modifier, UV project, select from the lamp. Now, if we had a UV map to actually use, that would be very handy. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, so basically, what I'm just going to do here is I'm going to select all of that. I'm going to see if we can actually do this on map and see if we can get something onto it. I don't know how well this is going to work, so if it doesn't, I do apologise. Smart UV, because I haven't marked any seams or anything, so just smart UV, and that will go to there. Okay, now we could let's see if get rid of that. Open. Let's see if I can just get something here and see if this will work. That'll do. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is select all of those, press P just to pin them down. Don't know how much use that's going to be. I've seen everybody doing that, so that's what I'm going to do there. Okay. Okay, let's see if that will work. UV map. Okay, it's getting closer. Switch this back to timeline there. So I can now do that. And then if we click apply, okay, so this, this may work, this may not work, but it's what they're all about, is just trying, isn't it? So we press apply. Okay, so obviously I've done something wrong there. Not entirely sure what I've done wrong. Nope, couldn't tell you what I've done wrong there. But it obviously hasn't worked for me because, as I say, I'm only just learning this, but that hasn't worked for me. But okay, so that's on lamp projections. It's got the projected UV, and basically once you render, that now shows the projected UV straight onto Suzanne. And notice how it only shows on the side where the light is. It won't show on this side. Now obviously it's dark there, so you know it probably wouldn't show there. But what we could do, again, just to try, see if it will work, is we could get another sun here. See, now that's one thing that I didn't try before, is actually rotating the sun. Okay, I mean, I've got it to show on that side. I think that's no, that I think that may have just worked. Can't be too sure on that, but you know, you get the idea. That's what it does. And I mean, one scene that I could actually use this on is I've been looking at maybe doing like high-rise buildings, and you know, I'm from Liverpool, and one of the things that we do quite often is when there's like a street, when there's like big events going on and anything, we shine lights down from the roof with the sign actually shining on the floor. Like there was one in a park close by mine, and I know this was a while ago now, but this was 2008 Capital of Culture, and it shone straight down from the top, straight onto the floor, and it moved about. So that'd be quite cool if you could use this to shine down, and then, you know, maybe some sort of animation to go round. Now, one thing that I have just thought of is duplicate. And it's got the exact same properties as that now. So if this doesn't work, then obviously I think I'll quit. Okay, so now you can see, there we go. That is just shining straight onto the two sides with the UV projection, and nothing at all on the back there where there's no light at all. So yeah, I'm not sure how you get these lines off the actual sun, but there's no properties really used inside there. Yeah, I think we'll leave this. I think we'll leave this one now. Right, okay, so they use a simple material on there, and then they had projected mapping. Right, okay, so this is all the part that I missed out before because I haven't used textures at all. So that's something that we need to look into. But for now, that's what the modifier does. That's how it works. It could be useful, it might not, but at least we now know. And as always, I'm going to say it again, you can like, you can comment, and you can subscribe. There's going to be plenty more videos to come along, and if I don't know anything about the modifiers, I'll still go through the scripts that I've got here to tell you about them. And you know, this was really handy that I actually got this project off Blender, so that'd be really useful if, you know, if I don't know anything, that I can actually get one of these projects to show you a little bit more, and then we can mess around with it and see what we can do ourselves. But for now, that will be it, and thank you very much.